I thought that a bit more context around the question might be useful.
No, the actual thing I said
World's places visit.
the actual thing
World's places visit.
Where places visit.
Where places visit. I mean, you could have probably gone from that, but we had Twitter went absolutely wild on this one. We had at least 5 answers, so I don't know. Actually,
I'm flattered.
Actually, I don't know if I'd call that wild, but it's mildly enthusiastic, I think. So, Phil Billingham had a really good suggestion, and I like all these 3, and I've not been to any of these 3. St. Petersburg in Russia.
Yeah.
The Wall of China, Great Wall of China, and the Scilly Isles.
See, I wanted to write a book about St. Petersburg, so that might be a good idea.
Well, what was the book about St. Petersburg?
I don't know yet. I have a title, and I want to build around it, and the title is The Seagulls of St. Petersburg.
I like it.
But I don't know whether to do it about a ballet thing.
Would you call it the Seagulls of St. Petersburg, or alternatively, would you call it the Seagulls of Stalingrad? Because that's got quite a good name to it, hasn't it? Quite a good ring to it. Seagulls of Stalingrad or Seagulls of St. Petersburg?
I think I'd call the book Seagulls of St. Petersburg, but the last chapter would be about, if you bring new information, like the last chapter would be the Seagulls of Stalingrad, but obviously it would be about, because of what you just said, I'm obviously now going to do it about how it went from Stalingrad to St. Petersburg.
Ah, interesting.
Or maybe write a story about something happened entirely in reverse. So they, instead of them getting, I don't know.
You've got loads of different options there, but one of my favourite historical books is about the siege of Stalingrad. It's incredible. Matt Walton said Middle-earth, Hogwarts, or Tatooine, which apparently is a bizarre Star Wars reference. But as I've not seen any of the Star Wars movies, I wouldn't get.
I'm pretty sure I know what Middle-earth's from.
Middle-earth is from Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
Yes.
Hogwarts is from Harry Potter. And Tatooine, I had to Google because I didn't know what it was, and it's a Star Wars reference. And
if I was following his logic, I'd love to go to Camp Half-Blood, Hotel Valhalla, and I don't know, somewhere else probably.
Somewhere else?
Yeah, somewhere else.
Swindon. And the reason Matt picked all those places...
Yeah, I'd love to go to Oz.
The reason he picked all those places is because he likes to keep it real. Of course you do, Matt. Of course you do. So Planagirl, at Planagirl on Twitter, said, I visited Madagascar briefly once, worthy of a return visit. Certainly, I'd love to go to Madagascar.
Oh, look at the bit at the end. Hashtag stunning.
Hashtag stunning. So we need to have a trip to Madagascar at some point. Martin McNamara was keeping it real. Mars. I just like he's picked a place but maybe the pace that technology is moving, maybe Mars seems a long way away, but could happen sooner than we think.
You know Mars is named after the Roman god of war, right?
I do know that.
But his Greek counterpart was Ares. But there was one thing that I really liked about Greek and Roman gods.
Go on.
But it's that the Roman gods, they are pretty much the same as the Greek gods, except there's less feminism.
Okay.
There's more strong female characters in the Greek gods than the Roman gods, because obviously they have Athena, and she was the goddess of battle strategy.
Yeah.
Minerva, the goddess of wisdom in
But we talked the other day that they had a sewing and crocheting god, didn't they? That didn't feel particularly feminist to me. Who was that?
That was Athena as well, yeah.
So she was the goddess of battle strategies and crochet.
Strategy, wisdom, weaving.
Okay, cool. Right, so back to travel. Mrs. Stoves, at Mrs. Stoves on Twitter, said the Northern Lights. Now, I know that's on Cassie's, as on my wife's list, certainly on mine, but I don't know whether we're going to try and see them in Iceland or in the glass igloos that look different. Martin at London Money, Antarctica. You can keep your temples and soft white beaches. Standing at the bottom of the world really appeals. And I get that. Standing at the top or the bottom of the world anywhere makes perfect sense to me. And actually, even though I said that I'd like to go, and I don't know how I'd convince the family, he said you can come with me. So I've got myself a little holiday there.
I'll just hide in the suitcases.
Our old mate Darren Cook says, been to many places on my tip list, but Australia, New Zealand, Iceland. So Iceland's a bit of a repeating theme on
Iceland's
this
green.
list.
Iceland's very, very green.
And
Greenland's very, very icy.
And more of America. And Rich Ellis said Argentina and Venezuela. I reckon that South America is the gap that I've got the most.
Japan
For the culture.
That's where we've wanted to go for ages.
It's still on the list, isn't it? And Fiona Sharp said Pearl Harbor.
Oh,
Vietnam.
I know what happened in Pearl Harbor, 7th of December. I can't remember the year, but I just remember it was 7th of December because.
Yeah. Vietnam and El Alamein, because she likes a bit of military history with her cocktails. so that was her choice. So we had a really, really diverse range of different places, but the kindness questions are still, the question of the podcast is still open. You can answer anyone that we've asked previously about eggs, about travel, about are most people generally good. Any of the questions we've asked previously, feel free to chip in.
And just because the whole world doesn't hear your answers doesn't mean they won't make our day.
Yeah, so certainly we want to hear them. So how do people get in touch with us, Charlotte?
Hola Kindness, Twitter.
So
HOLA Kindness.
So on Twitter you can find us at HOLA Kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Our own Twitter, not bios because I said that last time, but our own Twitter handles are at Chris Dames, DAEMS, and yours is similar but with a Charlotte at the front and a J at the front, and without a Chris.
CHARLOTTE space J space DAEMS.
And you can email us at holla@thekindnessproject.co.uk. And also, if you've liked anything, any of the kindness news, and you want to read a bit more about those stories, you can find that on the show notes that are on www.thekindnessproject.co.uk. However, we've had some more readers' stories of kindness that I want to share. Would you like to hear one?
Yes, please.
This is from Ian Else. I once sold a bed to a lady for her grandson. She explained she had just come to live with him because his mum and stepdad had mistreated him. She didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, and he had no toys or games. She was trying to buy some second-hand furniture for his bedroom. After she left, it struck me that I had bought a brand new Nintendo Wii and never taken it out of the box. I called and asked whether she would like it. Nothing has given me more pleasure than the look on his face when he collected it, and the look on her face when she still couldn't quite believe it. Now, we've been talking about the satisfaction you get from kindness.
Yes.
And I love that phrase. Nothing has given me more pleasure than the look on his face when he collected it. I just doing something awesome for somebody else is a really cool thing to do, isn't it? So what do you think of that story?
Being awesome is awesome.
Being awesome is awesome. And on that note, it's the end of another kindness project.
Bye.
So we'll see you next week.
Bye.